Hello and welcome. In this video today, I am talking about the 5 common yet often made mistakes on wedding venue websites. Now, don't worry, I'm not going to talk about anything technical. You don't need to be a coder. You don't even need to know how to use ChatGPT. We are talking about the sales journey, that happens on your website for your potential wedding couples. Now, the 5 things I'm going to share, these are simple but impactful changes, and they are the difference between a couple just looking and actually booking. Now, here's what we know about our wedding couple in 2025. They are doing tons of research as they are looking for their wedding venue. They are attacking this like a university project. They are taking months before they actually take action. And there is a huge decision delay, which means they are stalking websites, they are gathering information, they are upskilling themselves, they are learning, they are looking, they are stalking. And many times you don't even know. They are not picking up the phone to your team. They are not asking for an inquiry or a quote or availability. And the website, your wedding venue website, is a huge piece of their stalking phase. So getting this right is fundamental to actually driving up wedding revenue. So let me share with you 5 things I typically see when I start working with a venue that they are getting wrong on their website. And these things are so fast and so easy for you to fix today. So number 1 out of 5, packages and pricing. Let me ask you a question. How do you feel as a buyer when you go onto a website and there is no idea about the price of the product? I mean, I don't know about you, but this drives me insane. So let's take a sample scenario. Let's imagine that you are booking a beautiful trip to Mexico, a family holiday to Mexico, and you see on the website the lovely photos of the hotel and the bedrooms and the suites and the beach. And on the website, it tells you to make an inquiry, or it says, speak to our team. How do you feel? You're like, I just want to know how much this holiday might cost. Not a final price, not a to the pound or penny, but just a rough idea of what this might cost. Now, who's going to actually make an inquiry about that holiday to Mexico? I don't know about you, but I'm not going to do it. No time in my life for that. Now, the hotel in Mexico might say, well, I can't give a price. It just depends on the day and what they want and what they're going to eat and how many guests they're going to have. But the reality is, if we don't show pricing, we lose business. In 2025, websites of any caliber, of any business that do not give packages and pricing are losing business because none of us can be bothered to speak to a human just to find out the price. So on your website for your wedding venue, we must be showing packages and pricing. Now, I teach a very particular method where we teach a value ladder system, which allows us to showcase many different prices in the most digestible format, as well as attract a higher spend couple. So even if you're putting sample pricing, these need to be clearly on the page on the website. Number 2 of 5, the images of your venue. Now, again, these couples are stalking you. It's picture them 10 o'clock at night. They're sat on their sofa. Netflix is there. The laptop's open, and they are clicking around wedding venue websites. And when they land on your website, what they are most important, what they really want to see are the images of the property. They want to see the ceremony spaces, the reception spaces, the dinner spaces, the dancing spaces, the gardens, the staircase. They want to understand the property. Now, so many venues get this so terribly wrong. And what I see is a generic couple standing in a field, or a bride in a bath drinking champagne. Now, none of these convey what I'm going to get at the property. They don't show us the beautiful ceremony area, or the garden set with the chairs and the gazebo, or whatever it is that you have. Your couples, when they're stalking your website, they want to actually understand the space you have without leaving their sofa. So go and audit your images. Are you actually showcasing all the different spaces that you actually are selling to couples, or are you just showing generic family shots of people drinking champagne and random other people? Because that does not sell your venue. Number 3 of 5. This one's going to be controversial, but the reality is I deal with stats and facts, what works and what doesn't. So let me tell you, number 3 of 5 is do not have on your website calendar availability for wedding dates. What do I mean by this? If on your wedding website, you have a little calendar, like a date checker that says, hey, check your wedding date is available, I implore you to remove it immediately. Okay? This is one of the biggest mistakes I see in the wedding market. Venues, specifically venues, should not be showing availability at their property for the following reasons. I never do anything just because I don't like it. I do it because I see what works and what doesn't work. And this is based on statistics. So here it comes. The majority of wedding couples, engaged humans in 2025, are not date driven. What does that mean? The leading reason that they go with the venue is not because you were available on their date. They are not date driven. So they are not going, well, we're going to get married on June the 21st. And I'm only going to consider a venue that is available on June 21st. No, they are finding the venue they like. And then they're saying, okay, great. What dates do you have? And now let's coordinate with our schedule and find a date that works. So leading with a calendar that shows wedding date availability does not make any sense. Now, on top of that, we lose out on need dates. Need dates, the ones that are harder for you to fill. So the winter dates, the midweek dates, these dates that you are coming to me and saying, Kelly, how do I fill more of my need dates? Well, the first thing you do is stop forcing your couple to check a date for June 21st that they weren't that bothered about anyway, seeing it's not available, and then having a reaction of like, oh, well, it's not available. And if they see you have no Saturdays left available, they might not take a step forward. However, if they'd got on site for a tour and then they'd fallen in love with your property, then you begin discussing that you only have Thursdays and Fridays left. That is a whole nother conversation. So remember, if you have a calendar availability to check wedding dates, this needs to be removed. Now, PS is like a 0.2 for my 3rd out of 5. If you have a contact form on your website, and if it says that they need to tell you their date, please remove that too. Because once again, your couple are not date driven. They are not leading with a specific date. So you're asking them to tell you a date that they want, that they don't even know if they want, and you're going to check when they don't need to check it, right? Like they don't even know if they like you yet. They're just stalking you. They're just looking around the website and you're asking about availability. They don't even know if they like you. They're just researching. Okay, so let's move on from the check availability. Number 4 of 5. Can you believe we're up to number 4 already? Let me know in the comments which of these is the most useful for you. Number 4 of 5. You need to have a downloadable brochure, a PDF, behind an email wall. Now, remember I just told you, I want to see the package and pricing right there on the website. Don't trick me. Don't say, I'm not going to tell you the price until you give me your email. No, we're not mean girls. No, the price and package is on the website. So you might be thinking, well, why would anybody download a brochure if I've already told them everything on the website? We've tried and tested this over and over again. And we have found that by being upfront and open on the website actually increases the number of people who will type in an email to get to your brochure. So we create a brochure, a PDF version. We put it behind an email wall because 85% of visitors to your website are taking no action. They're clicking around, they're looking at everything, and then they're going, okay, that's nice. And because they're not ready to book a tour and they're not ready to speak to your team, then they just leave. So instead, we want to give them a micro commitment, a small step. And that small step is simply to download a brochure. Now, you're going to do this, asking for their email address and automatically delivering that brochure to their inbox. You've been upfront with pricing, and so they will give you their email. And now you have their email, you can nurture them through warm-up content. And what we see is that most people are now taking action after email 4 or even 6. And so we need to be delivering them warm-up content. 5, our final one, 5 of 5. So many websites, especially hotels. I work with a lot of hotels. So imagine the website, you've got, the main homepage, you've got accommodation, you've got spa, you've got weddings, you've got meetings and events, you've got restaurants. And so when we get to the wedding page, I see this drop down box off the menu. So we click the word wedding in the menu, and then there's like 5 options. Stop doing that. We know statistically that the wedding page works best when it is a long scroll page. Put all the information on one long scroll. Think about how many of us spend hours of our day. We are scrolling Instagram, we are scrolling Facebook. And instead of giving them 10 different things to click on. They don't know where they're going. It's all a bit messy. They're like in a maze. They turned left, they turned right, they ended up on this page, they wanted to go back over here. Instead of that, create a long scroll page that you control the sales journey, that you're giving them the information in the order that works best, so that they are actually coming across the food and the accommodation and the packages and all the things they need in the right order, in the right way. Plus, user experience, they prefer to scroll rather than click. So you will keep them on the page, you will keep them scrolling and reading, and they will get more of the information they need. Across this long scroll page, we need a repeat call to action, getting them to download the brochure. Remember, we just spoke about that one. And at the end of the long scroll is where you put your packages and pricing, because we want to show them all the gorgeousness before we start talking to them about price. So today we've looked at website, packages and pricing, images of the venue, remove calendar availability, add a brochure behind an email wall, and use one long scroll page for the wedding info. If you found this video useful, I'm going to drop a link below to a free PDF called My Revenue Maximizer. Inside there, I've included some core steps to what's working really well for our venues in 2025 to be fully booked and driving up their revenue. It's a free PDF that I've put together for you, and all you need to do is click the link and that will turn up in your inbox. So if this has been useful, drop me a heart emoji and I'll see you on the next video.